Good morning everyone, Beautiful Freak Cosmetics back once again with another video. Today we're going to be creating Carry soaps. Carry soaps are on sale right now throughout the summer as a charity fundraiser, and they start out in 3 parts. The first part is what you see here. We have a ruffled heart mold, which is originally designed for cupcakes. We have a small mold that has a stylized bat. And in advance, I've created 3 bats in advance. The bats have already been not only created, but they've been trimmed, and they do need some trimming. This mold is not particularly exact. I got it on Etsy. It has some problems that we're going to look at in a minute. But before we do anything else, I need all of the bats that I'm going to be using created in advance. I'm only creating 3 Carry soaps today, so all I needed was 3 bats. They have to be poured one at a time since I only have 1 mold, so this takes a little while, and once they're hardened up, I trim them all. But as I said, this mold has some problems. To wit, if you're looking at it from the side, you can see what the trouble is. On the right side, the little shoulder of the bat is higher than the one on the left, which means that the shoulder on the left constantly has to be trimmed out. So it takes a little time, but once you're done, you're done. These are all the things that I'm going to be needing to create this soap today. I had some leftover from the last time I poured this last week. But right now we're going to need basically 4 things, really 3 colors plus last week's. And we're going to get started by putting the black, some clear, and those purple ones in the bottom of the container and heating them up so that they're fully melted, and then adding a little bit more purple to it as well as our fragrance. Carry is a cherry berry scent that very sort of candy fruit like, and very popular every time I bring it back out. When it's done, we get started with pouring just a little bit, and we mix it with some melted white in layers. I usually do this in about 3 stages, where it's purple mixed with a little bit of white, wait, then add another layer of purple and a little bit of white. And in between, I hit it with some rubbing alcohol, and every time I do, you're going to see these patterns of the white in the purple start to change dramatically. Next time I'll get video of this, but it's really dramatic when it happens. You see that in this case you have this one pattern. The moment that I hit it with some more alcohol, the pattern changes entirely as the mica loses its adhesion to itself and floats around all over again. You can do this as many times as you want, but the problem is that every time you do it, the white gets more diffuse. So if you want sort of stripiness, you want to hit it only a couple of times. If you would rather like a more mixed, blended color, you can do it a bit more. But in the end, you're going to hit it so that the surface tension is broken on the mica. This is what it looked like when it was completely full. I did it in 3 stages, which is generally how I do it. It looks a lot lighter in this picture than it comes out in the end. It's just that the bottom gets hit with all of the rubbing alcohol, so it looks a bit lighter in the end. I then make some black. This is just clear soap mixed with activated charcoal, and I use a dedicated container for this because I use this mix all of the time. But I just made just a small amount of it. That's all I'm going to need. In the end, when you mix together the activated charcoal and the melted clear soap, you get this glossy, opaque black. You just stir it up, and you can use it for whatever you want. It's not scented. Once the soaps are done, I take them out of the mold. This is what they look like, and you see they have a well in the top, and that well is going to be filled with black, and then the bats are going to be placed in it. This takes a little bit of time, and you have to do it quick. So watch. Once they're in, I just put the bats on top. You have to act very, very fast, and once the bats are down, you really can't move them. So you have to be kind of accurate. You'll see with this second bat that a little bit of the black soap gets on it, but I clean that up later. It just took a second to fix. but don't try to wipe it off in advance because it just won't move. And that's it. Once it's dry, or at least just leave it for a few minutes, you can pick it up and just put it down on your work surface. It looks like a hot mess at first, but it's very easy to trim. You just do it with a sculpting tool, and you can clean up that little area where it was dotted with the black color. They come out very clean. It looks like much more of a mess than it is. It took about a minute to clean these up. But this is the finished product once they're done, and that's pretty much it. They're not really that hard to make. They just take a little time because they're done in stages. The bat cleanup takes longer than pretty much anything else. So I hope you've enjoyed this one, and we'll be back next week with another tutorial video. Now that I can actually do proper video, we'll see if I can give you a live pouring video. Thanks again. Why are you still watching? Go do something else.